Welcome to Johnny Millwater Live. My timing's off today. Everything's a little bit off today. I hope you guys are feeling better than I am. A little bit under the weather for no particular reason. And the weather has been amazing this morning, which is Sunday, March 26th. We had hail here in Charlotte, North Carolina. First time I've actually seen hail with my naked eye, if you can believe that. I had hail right in the front yard, right when I was supposed to leave the house. So I stayed home and watched an episode of Star Trek with my family, and that was fun. All right, hope you guys are doing well. Let's go to the chat chalet, get ready for some fun. I think I'll say fun some more. Here I am. I knew I'd be coming back. So, I don't think anybody's in the chat just yet, but if you're watching the show for the very first time, it's fairly simple. I hang out in here, I talk to all the people who are in the chat, and if there's nobody talking to me in the chat, I spin the wheel. Let me show you what the wheel looks like. Look at all those fun things we might do. Ask me anything. Oh, wheel. Oh, wheel. They can't ask me anything if there's nobody in there. Come on, wheel. Wisdom, excellent choice. Let us begin by laying down some wisdom from on high. What do you think we ought to start with? Alan Watts, I think you're right. But while we're here, it takes a while to get down there. But so I'll tell you a couple things that I learned from the Bible. Your own soul is nourished when you are kind, and it is destroyed when you are cruel. King Solomon said that, and he's right. There's also the teachings of the Quran. Here's Alan Watts. Rumi. You never can tell what's going to come up on this thing. Rumi. Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. Good point. Let us read from Alan Watts. Solids and spaces go together, as inseparably as insides and outsides. Space is the relationship between bodies, and without it there can be neither energy nor motion. If there were a body, say just one single ball with no surrounding space, there would be no way of conceiving or feeling it as a ball or as any other shape. If there were nothing outside it, it would have no outside. It might be God, but certainly not a body. So, too, if there were just space alone with nothing in it, it wouldn't be space at all, for there is no space except space between things. Inside things or outside things. This is why space is the relationship between bodies. Can we imagine one lonely body, the only ball in the universe in the midst of empty space? Perhaps, but the ball would have no energy, no motion. In relation to what could it be said to be moving? Things are said to move only when compared with others that are relatively still, for motion is motion/stillness. So let's have two balls, and notice that they come closer to each other or get further apart. All right, sure, there's motion now, but which one is moving? Ball 1, ball 2, or both? There is no way of deciding. All answers are equally right and wrong. Now bring in a third ball. Balls 1 and 2 stay the same distance apart, but ball 3 approaches or retreats from them. Or does it? Balls 1 and 2 may be moving together towards or away from 3, or balls 1 and 2 may be approaching 3 as 3 approaches them, so that all are in motion. How are we to decide? One answer is that because balls 1 and 2 stay together, they are a group, and also constitute a majority. Their vote will therefore decide who is moving and who is not. But if 3 joins them, it can lick them. For if all 3 stay the same distance apart, the group as a whole cannot move. It will even be impossible for any one to say to the other 2, or any 2 to the other 1, "Why do you keep following me or us around?" For the group as a whole will have no point of reference to know whether it is moving or not. Note that whereas 2 balls alone can move only in a straight line, 3 balls can move within a surface, but not in 3 dimensions. The moment we add a fourth ball to get the third dimension of depth, and now it would seem that our fourth ball can stand apart from the other 3, take an objective view of their behavior, and act as the referee. Yet, when we have added the fourth, which one is it? Any one of them can be in the third dimension with respect to the other 3. This might be called a first lesson in relativity, for the principle remains the same no matter how many balls are added, and therefore applies to all celestial bodies in this universe, and to all observers of their motion, wheresoever located. Any galaxy, any star, any planet, or any observer can be taken as the central point of reference, so that everything is central in relation to everything else. Now, in all this discussion, one possibility has been overlooked. Suppose that the balls don't move at all, but that the space between them moves. After all, we speak of a distance like space increasing or decreasing as if it were a thing that could do something. This is the problem of the expanding universe. Are the other galaxies moving away from ours, or ours from them, or all from each other? Astronomers are trying to solve the problem by saying that space itself is expanding. But again, who is to decide? What moves, the galaxies or the space? The fact that no decision can be reached is itself the clue to the answer. Not just that both the galaxies and space are expanding, as if they were two different agents, but something which we must clumsily call galaxies or space, or solid space, is expanding. The problem comes up because we asked the question in the wrong way. We supposed that solids were one thing and space quite another, or just nothing whatever. And then it appeared that space was no mere nothing because solids couldn't do without it. But the mistake in the beginning was to think of solids and space as two different things instead of as two aspects of the same thing. Alan Watts. Love Alan Watts, folks. I feel wiser already. Let's go back to spin the wheel. Here we go. Anything can happen when you spin the wheel, folks. Spin the wheel. Riddles. All right. Nah. Cruel, cruel wheel. Story. That's good practice. Let's head on down to the campfire. I'll tell you a story. Ooh, that's not good. Well, we'll have to worry about that later. Here's the story. Let's tell the fable of the preacher who flew his kite, but not because he wished to do so, by George Ade. Now, a certain preacher became wise to the fact that he was not making a hit with his congregation. The parishioners did not seem inclined to seek him out after services and tell him he was a pansy, which meant a good thing back then. He suspected they were rapping on him on the quiet. The preacher knew there must be something wrong with his talk. He had been trying to expound in a clear and straightforward manner, omitting foreign quotations, setting up illustration of his points, such historical characters as were familiar to his hearers, putting the stubby old English words ahead of the Latin, and rather flying low along the intellectual plane of the aggregation that chipped in to pay his salary. But the pew holders were not tickled. They could understand everything he said, and they began to think he was common. So he studied the situation and decided that if he wanted to win them and make everybody believe he was a nobby and boss minister, he would have to hand out a little guff. He fixed it up good and plenty. On the following Sunday morning, he got up in the lookout and read a text that didn't mean anything, read from either direction, and then he sized up his flock with a dreamy eye and said, "We cannot more adequately voice the poetry and mysticism of our text than in those familiar lines of the great Icelandic poet Eikon Novrock. To hold is not to have, under the seared firmament, where chaos sweeps and vast futurity sneers at these puny aspirations. There is the full reprisal." When the preacher concluded this extract from the well-known Icelandic poet, he paused and looked downward, breathing heavily through his nose, like Camille in the third act. A stout woman in the front row put on her eyeglasses and leaned forward so as not to miss anything. A venerable harness dealer over at the right nodded his head solemnly. He seemed to recognize the quotation. Members of the congregation glanced at one another as if to say, "This is certainly hot stuff." The preacher wiped his brow and said he had no doubt that everyone could, within the sound of his voice, remember that what Quarolius had said, following the same line of thought. It was Quarolius who disputed the contention of the great Persian theologian Rantpazak, that the soul in its reaching out after the unknowable was guided by the spiritual genesis of motive rather than by mere impulsive mentality. The preacher didn't know what all this meant, and he didn't care, but you can rest easy that the pew holders were on in a minute. He talked it off in just the way that Cyrano talks when he gets Roxanne so dizzy that she nearly falls off the piazza. The parishioners bit their lower lips and hungered for more first-class language. They had paid their money for tall talk and were prepared to solve any and all styles of delivery. They held on to the cushions and seemed to be having a nice time. The preacher quoted copiously from the great poet Amoebus. He recited 18 lines of Greek and then said, "How true this is!" and not a parishioner batted an eye. It was Amoebus whose immortal lines he recited in order to prove the extreme error of the position assumed in the controversy of the famous Italian polenta. He had them going, and there wasn't a thing to it. When he would get tired of faking philosophy, he would quote from a celebrated poet of Ecuador or Tasmania or some other seaport town. Compared with this verse, all of which was the same school as the Icelandic masterpiece, the most obscure and clouded passage in Robert Browning was like a plate glass front in a State Street candy store, just after the fella gets through using the chamois. After that, he became eloquent and began to get rid of long Boston words that hadn't been used before that season. He grabbed a rhetorical Roman candle in each hand, and you wouldn't see him for the sparks. After which he sank his voice to a whisper and talked about the birds and the flowers. Then, although there was no cue for him to weep, he shed a few real tears, and there wasn't a dry glove in the church. After he sat down, he could tell by the scared look of the people in the front that he had made a 10-strike. Did they give him the joyous palm that day? Whew, sure. The stout lady could not control her feelings when she told how much the sermon had helped her. The venerable harness dealer said he wished to endorse the able and scholarly criticism of polenta. In fact, every one said the sermon was superfine and dandy. The only thing that worried the congregation was the fear that if it wished to retain such a whale, it might have to boost his salary. In the meantime, the preacher waited for someone to come and ask about polenta, Amoebus, Remtatsuk, Coralius, or the great Icelandic poet Navrojic. But no one had the face to step up and confess his ignorance of these celebrities. The pew holders didn't even admit among themselves that the preacher had rung in some new ones. They stood pat and merely said it was an elegant sermon. Perceiving that they would stand for anything, the preacher knew what to do after that. Moral: give the people what they think they want. That's a great story. Very, very nice. Let's spin the wheel. Just did a story. Mean wheel. Whoever it is out there watching, thanks for watching. Song, there you go. That always makes me happy. Let's go to the theater, sing a song. Let's sing Cry Me a River, see how I do. Now you say you're lonely. You cried the whole night through. Well, you can cry me a river, cry me a river. I cried a river over you. Now you say you're sorry for being so untrue. Well, you can cry me a river, cry me a river. I cried a river over you. You drove me, nearly drove me out of my head, while you never shed a tear. Remember, I remember all that you said. Told me love was too plebeian, told me you were through with me, and now you say you love me. Well, just to prove that you do, come on and cry me a river, cry me a river. I cried a river over you. You nearly drove me out of my head, while I never shed a tear. Remember all that you said. Told me love was too plebeian, told me you were through with me, and now you say you love me. Well, just to prove that you do, why don't you cry me a river, cry me a river? I cried a river over you. Felt good. Yeah. When you're not feeling great, sometimes the song is just what you need. More wisdom? Why not? Let's lay down some wisdom from up on high. Here's some more wisdom from my favorite philosopher, Alan Watts. You know, we seldom realize, for example, that our most private thoughts and emotions are not actually our own. For we think in terms of languages and images, which we did not invent, but which we were given to us by our society. It's very true. It's all symbols. Language is all. I've felt that for a long time. I'll give you one more. Here's the meaning of life, according to Alan Watts. The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple, and yet everybody rushes around in a great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. Yeah, he's right. Let's spin the wheel. Ooh, a joke. All right, let's head on down. Let's do the joke in the theater. Let's see what I haven't told yet. Got hundreds of them. Here's one just from memory. Farmer bought a champion bull, bred it 200 times a year. The farmer's wife said, 200 times? Isn't that wonderful, dear? His wife said, why don't you watch him? Maybe he'll show you how. Farmer said, he's a heck of a bull, but it wasn't all with the same cow. Here's one from memory. Yep, nope, nothing good. All right then. We have to update our joke program here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be the first to admit. Diarrhea is hereditary? Yeah, it runs in your genes. Delightful. All right then, let's spin the wheel. Don't forget, you can write into the chat at any time. I'd be happy to talk to you. I'm only spinning the wheel without checking in because nobody's saying hi in the chat. Ooh, a monologue. Let's go down to the monologue. Let's do the theater. Oh, this is exciting. I got one all picked out for you. This is the preacher character by Mark McKinney from The Kids in the Hall. This is very exciting. I love The Kids in the Hall. This is from their television program in the 90s. I actually am going to get to meet Kevin McDonald again next Saturday. I'll give you a full report. He's doing an improv, I suppose, lecture or workshop. There you go. He's doing an improv workshop, and I'm going to go do that for a few hours on Saturday. I'm very excited because I love Kevin McDonald. But this is written by Mark McKinney. It is called Preacher Character, and it's from the 1990 show The Kids in the Hall. What weighs more, the Bible or the Bhagavad Gita? Well, worldly scholars and scientists have known for quite some time that the Bible outweighs the Bhagavad Gita here by a pound and a half sometimes, outweighs the Talmud sometimes 3 to 4 pounds, outweighs that mighty Koran sometimes by 5 to 10 pounds. You think about that. Every comedian has a preacher character. Every comedian uses the preacher character as a reliable source of comedy material. And why not? I say, I say an ordinary line like get off the phone and you got nothing. Say it as your preacher character. Get off the phone, sinner, and you're halfway to a joke. All comedians use the preacher character. Now, lately, the preacher character has been under attack. Now, why is that? Well, I've been hearing some folks say they think the preacher character is finished as a comedy vehicle. It's worn out. They're saying stuff like, I don't like that preacher character anymore. It's been done. It's passé. Get that old guy off my TV set. I don't like that preacher character. Give us something new. That old preacher character don't make me laugh anymore. That old preacher character don't make me laugh anymore. They're saying that. And who are these people? Are they out there? Are they the general TV audience? Or are they fans? Or are they writers? Or are they critics given to criticism? Because I think the time has never been more right, more propitious for the preacher character. All you got to do is go down to the southern United States and you can see that televangelists and preachers are fast eclipsing rock and roll musicians as the drug-popping, tax-weaseling, prostitute-pumping bad boys of pop culture. It's a Bible-Belt Babylon down there, and they say, we don't need that preacher character anymore. Well, I say to people like that, I like my preacher character. It gives me the now feeling. I'd like to finish with a story. I had a friend of mine in the industry, a stand-up comic, who was having some troubles with his preacher character. And what he said to me is that it wasn't working. The character wasn't comic. He would go out and do the preacher character and no one would laugh. Now, he had done this preacher character at stand-up comedy clubs. He did it at parties he attended socially. He had made a home video. And when he told me of his problems, I said, Tom, try drawing a little more. Extend your vowels. And if that doesn't work, are you sure you're funny? That shut him up. So, what weighs more? The Bible or a compilation of Gary Larson's Far Side cartoons? Think about it. Marvelous. Again, Mark McKinney, brilliant performer. All right, then. Let's, nobody's saying hi in the chat yet. So we'll just keep spinning the wheel. Wisdom, why not? Wisdom from Jack Cornfield. This life is a test. It is only a test. If it had been an actual life, you would have received further instructions on where to go and what to do. Remember, this is only a test. Thought I'd stick my head in and say hi to the chat. Hi, everybody. If there's anybody watching, it says we got 8 viewers, but nobody's saying hello. So if anybody wants to talk in the chat, type it in there and I'll talk to you. But for now, let's spin the wheel. Shakespeare, excellent. Let us go to the Shakespeare stage. Excellent. I believe I shall read from the sonnets. As you know, Shakespeare wrote over 150 sonnets. I am currently on number 117 here on the stream. If I make it through all the sonnets, I win. This is Sonnet 117 by William Shakespeare. Accuse me thus, that I have scanted all wherein I should your great deserts repay, forgot upon your dearest love to call, whereto all bonds do tie me day by day, that I have frequent been with unknown minds, and given to time with your own dear purchased right that I have hosted sail to all the winds which should transport me farthest from your sight. Book both my willfulness and errors down, and on just proof surmise accumulate. Bring me within your level of frown, but shoot not at me in your wakened hate, since my appeal says I did strive to prove the constancy and virtue of your love. Not sure I read that one right, but I enjoyed it. Okay, trying to fix something, but it didn't quite work. Let's do something else. Oh, a song. Nice. Sing something sad and lonely. So many sad songs. It's hard to find the right one. Let's do These Foolish Things, see how I do. Having a hard time finding it. I keep on forgetting that if I look for a specific song, I will not find it. Come on, there's got to be some songs here. I'll do Blues in the Night. My mama done told me when I was in short pants, my mama done told me, son, a woman's a sweet talk and she'll give you the big eye, but when the sweet talking's done, a woman's a two-faced, a worrisome thing to leave you to sing the blues in the night. Now the rains are falling, hear the train a-calling, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Hear that lonesome whistle blowing across the trestle, ooh-wee. My mama done told me, oh-it, oh-wee, a clickety-clack echoing back the blues in the night. The evening breeze will start the trees to crying, and the moon will hide its light. When you get the blues in the night, take my way, the mockingbird sings the saddest kind of song. He knows that things are wrong, and he's right. From Natchez to Mobile, from Memphis to St. Joe, wherever the four winds blow. I've been in some big towns and I heard me some big talk, but there is one thing I know. A woman's a two-faced, a worrisome thing who'll leave you to sing the blues in the night. That's by Johnny Mercer, my namesake and one of my favorite songwriters. Let's spin the wheel. Oh, good. Let's go to the poetry for good. Got time for a longer piece today. Let us find something cheerful for crying out loud. There's got to be something that gives you hope. I'll bet matches the mood. I'm going to read If again. I love If. If's my go-to when I need to cheer up. If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all men... Oh, excuse me. This is If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about don't deal in lies. or being hated. Don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build 'em up with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose, and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Wonderful. Let's spin the wheel. Well, let's sing a song then. Whoops, my mind went on a little vacation there. Let's go to the theater. We'll sing a song. Let's find something happy. Come on now. You'd better love me while you may. Nope, I don't know that one yet, so I won't sing it. Dream a little dream, cheek to cheek as time goes by. Ain't that a kick in the head? Here we go. This is a song written by Adam Sandler. It's called Somebody Please Kill Me. You don't know how much I need you. While you're near me, I don't feel blue. And when we kiss, I know that you need me too. I can't believe I found a love that's so pure and true. But it all was bullshit. It was a goddamn joke. And when I think of you, Linda, I hope you fucking choke. I hope you're glad with what you've done for me. I lay in bed all day long feeling melancholy. You left me here all alone, tears running constantly. Oh, somebody kill me, please. Somebody kill me, please. I'm on my knees. Pretty, pretty, please. Please kill me. I want to die. Put a bullet in my head. Going to the mental institution. All right. Adam Sandler, everybody. Cathartic as I would have liked. Oh, hey, how you doing, Mark? Good to see you, buddy. Hey, you're just in time for some more wisdom. Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. So we are taught by Rumi. Rumi also taught us to be like the sun for grace and mercy. Be like the night to cover others' faults. Be like running water for generosity. Be like death for rage and anger. Be like the earth for modesty. Appear as you are. Be as you appear. Doesn't get much wiser than that. Let's go to the chat chalet. Hey, Mark, thanks for checking in, man. You're the first one here today. Lauren said hello for a moment. That's Mark. He's my buddy and future musical director, if we can get it all hooked up. Insomnia, I hear that. Mine's been a lot better the past couple of years, but I had it for years and years and years and years. I'm glad you got some sleep, and don't give it a second thought anytime you miss the show. That's the whole point. It's great when you're here, but if you're not, no hard feelings, although it's better. How you doing? You all right? You have a good week? I had a pretty good week, but, I'm kind of all over the place. Feeling kind of poorly today, though, you know what I mean? You just wake up some days and you feel like you're half a step behind, like you're phased, like Geordie LaForge. Only half he is there and the other half is on another ship somewhere. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I feel like that sometimes. Don't have a lot of concentration today, making a lot of mistakes. But other than that, things are good. How are you? Wonder what the lag is like. I'll come back. Tell me some stuff when I come back, all right? Limericks. Let's go down to the Poetry Pagoda. Sure you can, buddy. Everybody loves limericks. Let's start with a simple one. This one's in English. There was a young lady whose chin resembled the point of a pin, so she had it made sharp and purchased a harp and played several tunes with her chin. Self-rhyme. I don't know, man. I don't think it should count. There was a young schoolboy of rye who was baked by mistake in a pie. To his mother's disgust, he emerged from the crust and exclaimed with a yawn, "Where am I?" Wow, that's a tough kid. Good attitude. One more. Is it me or the nature of money that's odd and particularly funny? But when I have dough, it goes quickly, and seeps out of my pockets like honey. There you go, a few limericks. Comedic feedback. All right, let's go back to the chat chalet. Oh, just had a pretty good idea. Would you like me to ask ChatGPT for any suggestions to cancel your lag? I don't even know what the lag is right now. But yeah, sure. Ask ChatGPT anything you like. And then I'll be happy to give you comedic feedback on whatever you type in there. Sounds good. Yeah, go ahead, man. Whatever you type, I'll read it. Let's spin the wheel. Good, a monologue. Let's go down to the theater and do a monologue. All right, I'm psyched about this one. This is The Wedding from Hell. This is 3 separate characters. This was written by Rowan Atkinson and performed in his one-man show, and it's one of my favorite pieces from him. So, starting with the narrator. Did you ever have one of those days when everything seemed to go wrong? I did. Unfortunately, it was my wedding day, and 3 men in particular were to blame. It started with the priest. I now pronounce you man and wife. Well done. You may now kiss the bride. Nice one. All right, please be seated, everyone. I would just like to say a few words before we begin communion. You know, a lot of prospective brides ask me these days, Father, what is the church's attitude to fellatio? And I tend to reply by telling a little story about the first time I was asked that question. It was a couple of years ago now, and the young, attractive bride-to-be came up to me after a service and asked just that question. Father, what is the church's attitude to fellatio? And I replied, well, you know, Joanne, I'd like to tell you, but unfortunately, I don't know what fellatio is. And so she showed me. And ever since, whenever anyone has asked me the question, Father, what is the church's attitude to fellatio? I always reply with, well, you know, I'd like to tell you, but unfortunately, I don't know what fellatio is. Next came my trusted best man. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow survivors of the stunning stag party. How did those two girls get under the table, and what the hell were they up to with that toothpaste? Well, just before I left the house this morning, I said to myself that the last thing I must do is forget your speech. And so sure enough, when I left the house, the last thing I did, yes, you guessed it, was to forget my speech. So it's all ad-libbed, I'm afraid. Right. Well, now, where should I begin? I'd like to begin now. All right. Well, I've known the groom ever since we first went to school together at the age of 8. And you know, he hasn't changed a bit. Well, you know, that's not quite true, of course. He didn't have his beard then. And I'll tell you this, he'd never been able to do what he was doing last night to those two extraordinary how little people change, isn't it? Although I know that I've changed a great deal because I used to be an absolute ass. Always blurting things out when I shouldn't. For instance, this afternoon, I'm sure I wouldn't have been able to resist mentioning the bizarre sight that greeted my eyes when I opened this man's bedroom door earlier this morning. And, oh, yes, but enough of that. He started making gestures at me now, which I think he means he wants me to cut my speech short. So, suffice to say, I think he'll make a ripping husband, and I think his wife's ripping too. And I only hope that the dress will hold out. So I'd like to propose a toast to go with the pate to the groom and his lovely horse. Wife! It's all starting to come back to me now, and I just know their marriage will be as happy and satisfied as I was when I paid off those 2 prostitutes earlier this morning. Cheers! And finally, my loving father-in-law provided the perfect end to the perfect day. Ladies and gentlemen and friends of my daughter, there comes a time in every wedding reception when the man who paid for the damn thing is allowed to speak a word or two of his own. And I should like to take this opportunity, sloshed as I may be, to say a word or two about Martin. As far as I'm concerned, my daughter could not have chosen a more delightful, charming, witty, responsible, wealthy, let's not deny it, well-placed, good-looking, and fertile young man than Martin as her husband. And I therefore ask the question, why the hell does she marry Gerald instead? Because Gerald is the sort of man we used to describe at school as a complete prick. If I may use a gardening simile here, if his entire family may be likened to a compost heap, and I think they can, then Gerald is the biggest weed growing out of it. I think he is the sort of man people emigrate to avoid. I remember the first time I saw Gerald, I said to my wife, she's the lovely woman propping up that horrendous old lush of a mother of his, either this man is suffering from serious brain damage or the new vacuum cleaner has arrived. As for his family, they are quite simply the most intolerable herd of steaming social animals I have ever had this misfortune of turning my nose up to. I spurn you as I would spurn a rabid dog. I would like to propose a toast to the caterers and to the pigeon who crapped on the groom's family's limousine at the church. As for the rest of you around this table not directly related to me, you can sod off. I wouldn't trust any of you to sit the right way on a toilet seat. The end. That there. Oh, man. Uh-oh. Something went wrong. There we go. That was by Rowan Atkinson. I enjoy Rowan Atkinson. It's, oh, people are here. Hello. Hello. Hold on. Back to the chat, chalet. All right, let's see where we left off. I believe that Mark had a pretty good idea. He wanted to ask ChatGPT for any suggestions to cancel the lag. I thought that was a good idea. Then Mark said, so the Tiger King is running for president. I tried contacting him. Ha! Okay, how'd you try to contact him? He seems like the kind of guy like a carrier pigeon, or probably showing up at the house with like wings. I don't know about the Tiger King. Hi, Julia! I'm so glad you're here. It's been a lonely day. Mark came in about 10 minutes ago, and before that, it's just been a whole bunch of nothing, so I'm glad you're here. Are you doing all right? How's the weather in Connecticut? We had hail this morning. Hail! I don't believe I've seen hail in my 45 years, and it happened right on my front porch right before I was supposed to leave to come here. So that's pretty cool. And I think we're up to speed. Mark says, my proposal is to run seriously as a Southern D Democrat, like Jefferson Davis, Robert E. Lee, and my own direct ancestor, John Caldwell Calhoun. Okay? With the Tiger King, against the Tiger King? I wish you luck, my friend. Southern D Democrat. Wait a minute. Jefferson Davis, Robert E. Lee. You know, I'm not sure. They were on the right side of that war. You know, Mark says he has a Facebook account, and he posts a bit and no one really comments. Whenever they do, he hearts it. Well, that's kind of how I run my policies as well. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's the moon. That's what's going on over there. Okay. Well. Hey, everybody, do me a favor, and I'm going to go spin the wheel. Type something in the chat, and we'll catch up. Julie, tell me how you doing. Bring me up to speed. I miss you. You working this week? You have some time off? Are you doing any babysitting? What's going on? It's been all me this whole episode. Except Mark. He's been great. Riddle! All right, why not? Go down to the riddle room. What has... Nah, that's too easy. That's too easy. That's too easy. Here we go. Nope. Too easy. Nope. Okay. Nope. Aha. What four-letter word can be written forward, backward, or upside down and still be read from left to right? That's a good one. What four-letter word can be written forward, backward, or upside down and still be read correctly left to right? I'll give you a hint. It's a four-letter word. I'll give you another hint. It can be written right side up, back to forth, or upside down. Do either of you know what that word is? It's noon. The word is noon. Riddles are stupid with the lag, don't you think? I only put the riddle room in to entertain my daughter when she watches, but she doesn't watch anymore, so spin the wheel. The word was noon. N-O-O-N. Noon. Let's sing a song. Let's sing something cheerful. Something happier. Something that's going to make you feel better. Let's see. No? Yeah, why not? Nope. Nope. There's a good one. Here, we'll sing Adam Sandler. I got nothing. Here's Corduroy Blues. This is a song about being fat. It's my favorite Adam Sandler songs. When I was a boy, there was no limit on what I could eat. Shake after shake after shake after shake, followed by all kinds of red meat. Metabolism running around so fast, my body never gained no weight. That pissed off all my mama's friends and made my big bone sister irate. But now I'm a man and all that fruit frolickin's caused my ego to hurt. 'Cause even when I'm in the shower alone, I'm too embarrassed to remove my shirt. Well, made a millionaire out of Mr. Frito-Lay. I made a fat motherfucker out of me. You fat fuck. You fat fuck. Well, made a millionaire out of Mr. Frito-Lay. I made a fat motherfucker out of me. You fat fuck. You fat fuck. And all them cookies I've been munching lately, my feet are becoming difficult to see. I believe it was my daddy who led me to this eating disease by calling me the little candy ass when I couldn't finish a burger with cheese. Or maybe it was mama who got me addicted to all the wrong foods. Only when I gobbled out every chicken cutlet would I get to see mama's good mood. They said eat this, they said eat that, in case any there was no chance. And now when I walk, I hear Kelderoy even though I ain't wearing pants. Well, made a millionaire out of Mr. Frito-Lay. I made a fat motherfucker out of me. You fat fuck. You fat fuck. Well, made a millionaire out of Mr. Frito-Lay. I made a fat motherfucker out of me. You fat fuck. You fat fuck. And all that ice cream I've been eating lately, my chin's alone away 203. The diet starts tomorrow. I have a grapefruit for breakfast, for lunch, a bowl of white rice. At dinner time, it's a saltless potato. I ain't allowed no spice. If this diet's gonna work tonight, I can't eat no more. Just go to sleep, I say to myself as I close the bedroom door. 2 in the morning, I wake up to piss. My belly is hungry and aching. Tiptoe to the kitchen, fuck the diet, bring on the chips flavored with bacon. Well, made a millionaire out of Mr. Frito-Lay. I made a fat motherfucker out of me. Well, made a millionaire out of Mr. Frito-Lay. I made a tub of shit out of me. Yeah. And all them crumb cakes I've been eating lately, I should have bought stock in Sara Lee. Da-da-doo, da-da-doo, da-da-doo. Still on the captive audience. Good, good, good. Let's spin the wheel. I feel so fat lately. I think I'm 265 pounds, something like that. I look awful. On my mind, on my mind. Shakespeare. Let's go on down to the Shakespeare Pagoda. Once more into the breach. This is from Act 3, Scene 1 of Henry V. Once more, once more into the breach, dear friends, once more, or close up the wall with our English dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as mortis stillness and humility, but when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger. Stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard favored rage. Then lend the eye a terrible aspect. Let pry through the portage of the head like the brass cannon. Let the brow o'erwhelm it as fearfully as doth call rock, o'erhang and jutty his confounded base, swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now set the teeth and stretch the nostril wide. Hold hard the breath and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, on, you noblest English, whose blood is fed from fathers of war proof, fathers that, like so many Alexanders, have in these parts from morn till even fought, that sheathe their swords for lack of argument. Dishonor not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you called fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeoman, whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not, for there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble lustre in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry, God for Harry, England, and St. George! That was exciting. I like that part. Juddy his confounded bass. Yeah, it's all in his head right now. Right on. Let's spin the wheel. We just did Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare, but not twice in a row. All right, let's go to the theater. Sing a song. Let's do Lovely. I met a woman named DeLovely, D''Lovely. She's a comedian who was in the March Madness competition, and she had never heard this song by Cole Porter, which is also called DeLovely. The night is young, the skies are clear, so if you want to go walking, dear, it's delightful, it's delicious, it's DeLovely. I understand the reason why you're sentimental, 'cause so am I. It's delightful, it's delicious, it's DeLovely. You can tell at a glance what a swell night this is for romance. You can hear dear Mother Nature murmuring low. Let yourself go, so please be sweet, my chickadee. And when I kiss you, just say to me, it's delightful, it's delicious, it's delectable, it's delirious, it's dilemma, it's delimit, it's deluxe, it's DeLovely. Time marches on and soon it's plain. You've won my heart and I've lost my brain. It's delightful, it's delicious, it's DeLovely. Life seems sweet that we decide. It's in the bag to get unified. It's delightful, it's delicious, it's DeLovely. See the crowd at the church, see that proud parson pumped in his perch. Get the sweet beat of that organ pealing our doom. Here goes the groom, boom, how they cheer, how they smile as we go galloping down the aisle. It's divine, dear, it's divine, dear, it's the wunderbar, it's the victory, it's the wallop, it's the winner, it's the voice, it's DeLovely. It's DeLovely. The knot is tied and so we take a few hours out to eat wedding cake. It's delightful, it's delicious, it's DeLovely. It feels fine to be a bride, and how's the groom? Well, he's slightly fried. It's delightful, it's delicious, it's DeLovely. We settle down as man and wife to solve the riddle of married life. It's delightful, it's delicious, it's DeLovely. Life is sweet and we have no cares. We're just a couple of honey bears. It's delightful, it's delicious, it's DeLovely. All's as right as can be, till one night at our window I see an absurd bird with a bundle hung on his nose. Get baby clothes. Whoa, what was that? Those eyes of yours fill with joy when nurse appears and cries, it's a boy. He's appealing, he's appalling, he's a polywan, he's a paragon, he's a Popeye, he's a panic, he's a pip, and he's a prince of a lad. He's DeLovely, he's DeLovely. He's DeLovely. Shoo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Shoo-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. It's DeLovely. Do-ba-doo-doo. Gotta be a beginner scatting sometime. That was it. Just imagine how great I'll be in a couple of years. Hey, you know what? I feel like watching a movie. Let's head on down to the movie house. I was in a show this week called Night of a Thousand Laughs. I broke out some of my classic material, and I want to watch it. So that's what we'll do. This is what I looked like last week from the neck down.
In 5,000 shows all over the world. 5,000, guys. That's 5 times more than the laughs we're going for tonight. Please give him a huge welcome. He's from the United States of America. Please welcome Johnny Millwater.
Not you, me, everybody else. Thank you very much. Close it out. Do me a favor, one more time for Chris Mines. How about Chris Mines? Oh, that racist joke is so nice. I think I'll take that. And how about Grace Hoff, everybody? I love Grace. Let me say this about Grace Hoff. Grace doesn't sell Viagra. Grace is Viagra. My God, she's a lovely woman. Not that I need Viagra. I haven't had sex in 6 years. That's why I'm all dressed dressed up tonight. The pressure's off. Yeah. No, I'm dressed up because my body's disgusting. That's the only reason. Also, I like to sit in the back of comedy shows, a white guy in a suit, and when the comics walk by me, I go, "Kid, you got the goods." Show business joke, not for you. It's all right. Hang in there. You're going to like the rest. So happy to be here tonight. I live here in Charlotte. I used to tour all over the world, but now I'm a stay-at-home dad. I stay home. I take care of I make the food, and I clean the laundry, and I take care of my 2 beautiful children, and the other one. I have become everything my father dreamed my mother would be. And I couldn't be happier. I'm so happy that I love living in Charlotte. I love the South. I love the people. I love the weather. And I do truly believe that the South will rise again. But when it does, the national anthem is going to be in Spanish. And I know which side LA Red's going to be fighting on. But I love being home now. See, I got more time to smoke weed. Get dressed up. I do like smoking weed. There's downsides, though. It's bad for your short-term memory, your concentration, makes you cough, makes me paranoid when I smoke. Sometimes I think I'm a cop. And marijuana makes it neurologically impossible to remember that Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays. What is that? How much of my life do I have to spend in that drive-thru feeling stupid? Because Chick-fil-A's got a religious mission. A couple blank stares out there. Maybe some of you folks are visiting from a land without Chick-fil-A. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Chick-fil-A is a delicious restaurant, it's a chicken restaurant we have here in the South. They make delicious chicken sandwiches with not 1, but 2 pickles. Because you deserve it. That's right, 2 pickles, baby. That's it. No lettuce, no tomato, no sauce. 2 pickles. Shut up. Hey, you want some onions? Go shopping. And they have excellent customer service, and they make their own potato products. They call them waffle fries, but they shouldn't call them waffle fries because they don't look like waffles. They don't taste like waffles. They don't smell like waffles. They don't feel like waffles. They sound like waffles, but so does that hat. They look like somebody gave a potato and a switchblade to Salvador Dali and said, "Go nuts." Salvador Dali's a surrealist painter. Oh, if you got that joke, you would have loved it. Panic Fix, and they have excellent compliments. They have wonderful people there, and they serve delicious food, and they make their own ice cream, and they hate gay people, and there's a slide for the kids. And that's Chick-fil-A. The word on the street is they hate gay people. I've never seen it. Apparently it's because of the, but I've never been like, "Hey, here's your fries, fruitcake." They're nice, you know. They're very nice at the Chick-fil-A. When you say thank you, they say, "My pleasure." And I forget the next part. I'm scared about the gay thing. People look mad at me now. Question. Oh, no, you're just waving to volunteer that you're gay. Cool. Go get him, fellas. I might be switching up myself. We'll see how things go. Welcome, my friend. Go get him, Tiger. Closed on Sundays. What is it, 1774? Are you trying to tell me Chick-fil-A can't find a Jew? 1 day a week. They can't find a Jewish person to make chicken sandwiches. A straight Jewish person fine to make chicken sandwiches 1 day a week. That's what makes America great. We've got a very deep bench. We got everybody. So we can get each other's backs. Jews rest on Saturdays. Christians rest on Sundays. Muslims rest on Fridays. Hindus and Buddhists rest whenever they get tired. Agnostics? Who knows? Atheists get nothing. Back to work, heathen. No rest for the wicked. Got all quiet and weird in here. All right. That Chick-fil-A joke took a weird turn, didn't it? That was exciting stuff. I'm not going to shit on your religion, people. It's not the kind of person I am. I'm not a religious man myself. The only holy place I visit is Krispy Kreme donut. But I am devout. I love Krispy Kreme. I love Krispy Kreme. I like my wife a lot. I love Krispy Kreme. Because I can have Krispy Kreme. crispy and cream. You only had 2 words slick, you jacked them both up. Doesn't matter, they're that good. Give them a different name, call them crispy Krabby Creams. I still eat them. The 3rd K, I still eat them, they're that good. Better than any donut I've ever had. I've had some donuts, you can tell by looking at me, I've had some donuts. That's why I'm wearing layers. Had beignets and coffee in the Cafe Du Monde, Yum Yum Donuts in LA, the original Boston cream in Boston. Been up to Canada, had Tim Hortons, delightful, delicious, delectable, lovely. But I'll tell you a secret about those donuts. What they don't want you to know about those non-Krispy Kreme donuts? Fuck those donuts. Because Krispy Kreme is so, don't fuck the donuts. I know you're drinking, take it through. I understand. But you're going to end up with frosting all up in your business. I shouldn't have to tell you this. You got to pick out the sprinkles with the big tweezers. The point is that too far? That was too far. Was that too specifically hypothetical? That was too specifically hypothetical. The point is, they taste better than every donut. Best donut in the world. If you've never had a Krispy Kreme donut because you're sexy or whatever, you're one of those people that wears shorts and does burpees. Krispy Kreme donuts. Imagine, if you will, an angel sitting in heaven. She tears up a little piece of cloud and dips that fluffy piece of heaven in sugar. Love. Type 2 adult onset diabetes. And crack cocaine. Okay, yeah. And I did microwave and she said, and you can buy them 12 at a time and the cops don't bust your balls. Because when you're at the Krispy Kreme, you and the cops are on the same team. And I'm talking about the real Krispy Kreme now. I'm not talking about some gas station with a display. I'm talking about the big white building with the neon sign out front, right? The hot now sign. Oh, salivating just thinking about it. They got me all Pavloved up. How are we doing on time? Okay. Sorry. All right. Trying to be funny. I understand. I have kids. Oh, shit. I forgot something. Okay. That'll be fine. I just get it. They're in Hoon's car. You got a DVD player. That'll be fine. Remember from before? Well. Plus, I don't like to brag, but when I was a single man, I had my fair share of the ladies at Krispy Kreme. Well, it's not hard if you got donut game. I'll teach you. All you got to do is you go inside, you grab yourself a cup of coffee. Now you got a choice, bold, rich, or smooth. Which one do you get? Bold. Smooth is great, but smooth is a 3rd-day beverage. Smooth is after you've already made an impression. And if she's into rich, fuck her. You don't need none of that. Get yourself some bold, son. Bold, no cream, no sugar, no lids if she knows you're a man. Next step. You find a young lady sitting by herself eating a dozen donuts. That's your girl. Once you find that special lady, you catch her eye, you saunter on over nice and smooth. That's how I saunter. You want to saunter. That's a hot beverage. If you sashay, you're going to spill it. You want to saunter. And you catch her eye and you say this just like this. Oh, hi. I'm Johnny and I like my women like I like my donuts. Hot. And now. If that doesn't work, try a round and with a hole in them. But do you have 11 friends? Because you're all going through the glazing machine tonight. Yeah! Everybody's going home cream-filled. That's enough of that. Thank you very much. I hope you had a few laughs. I'm trying to Millwater. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
So that was just last week, everybody. Let's go back to the chat. We got some new friends. Been a long time. He's been doing comedy a long time. All right, let's see here. Mark said that he woke up from his sleep today with another wacky idea. Yes, he plans to convince the Tiger King not to run for president, but instead to endorse him and get his producer to help him get a Spinal Tap meets Borat kind of run for presidency, where I just go around to regular people and put on a bit of an act. I need to win the MAGA base and still run as a Democrat. I'll advertise myself as a Dino. All right, I look forward to seeing how that turns out. Robert says, nice setup. Flame and fire. I like that emoji. That's a rare treat. Thanks. I like those a lot. Appreciate you, Robert. And thanks for saying I'm funny. And Mark says, I've been doing comedy a long time. How you doing, Robert? It's good to see you. Where do I know you from, my friend? I hope you'll remind me. I see a couple days. My buddy Mark, he took one of my comedy classes a while back. He's here in the room, and I think my original fan is still in here somewhere. You can tell. Very kind of you. I like your positive use of emojis. Tell me about yourself, Robert, and when you're done, I'll come back and read it some more. Let's spin the wheel. Ask me anything. All right, let's give it a try. 60 seconds on the clock. Ask me anything. Anything you want to ask. I hit the wrong button. I don't need the close-up for this one. This is Ask Me Anything. I got a button for this. Here we go. Boom. 60 seconds on the clock. Anything that you type into the chat, I will answer. The stopwatch is weird, but here we go. It's back. It's working now. There we go, 60 seconds on the clock. And please, Robert, tell me how I know you from. This is fun. Give me a chance to enjoy some coffee. Oh, right on. Thanks for coming in, man. He's a friend of Mark. Very nice of you to tell your friends, Mark. Thanks for giving me a shot, Robert. Hope you have a few laughs, man. This is nice. And it's very nice of you to say. Any question? Any little king emoji? That's so cool. Any questions you have? 30 seconds left. 30 seconds to ask me anything. Pressure. I know. I think you could do it. And I was wrong. I'm going to spin the wheel. Type any questions and I'll answer them in a minute, okay? Wisdom. Well then, I sit on down and lay down some wisdom from on high. Good questions, good questions. I'll be back to answer those questions right after I lay down some wisdom from on high. Let us... Jack Cornfield. Peace requires us to surrender our illusions of control. We can love and care for others, but we cannot possess our children, lovers, family, or friends. We can assist them, pray for them, and wish them well. Yet in the end, their happiness and suffering depend on their thoughts and actions, not on our wishes. And how very true that is. Let's go back to the chat. Mark has asked, has my mood improved since last week? As a matter of fact, thank you so much for asking. My mood is worse. For some reason. My depression is sneaking back in a little bit at a time. I'll tell you, I had some problems. I'm on a couple of psychoactive medications to keep me from eating everybody. And those medications come by mail. And sometimes when it's time to refill the prescription, it doesn't happen in time. And I'm 2 or 3 days without medication or with old medication. And I've been 2 or 3 days with old medication. So I'm feeling I'm not unhappy, but I'm depressed, and I think you understand the difference. I'm not thinking clearly, things aren't flowing properly, and nothing seems as fun as it should be. Hey, here's one of my favorite sonnets that describes depression. This is one I actually know by heart, I think. Let's see, this is sonnet number 29. When in disgrace with fortune in men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most contented least, and yet in my heart myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state as to the lark of break a day arising, springs to clothe in earth. I forgot the end. Like I said, my brain's not working right. Yeah. Thanks for calling me professional. Thanks for saying I'm funny. I appreciate it. Do you have any questions, Robert? It's a weird one today. Probably wondering why the moon's crashing into the earth. I'm trying to add to the tension. Let's spin the wheel. Good day arising from sun and earth. It'll come back to me. Doesn't matter. Nobody will be stupid. Heck, I don't know. My impression of a depressed Nick Nolte. Yeah, hell, yeah, damn, poetry, yeah. Man, a lot of crappy stuff coming up. Riddles. Nobody wants riddles. There's 2 grown men in here. I should have something called boobs or something on the wheel. We can all enjoy that together, but sadly I don't. Song. All right, we'll find a guy song. We're singing a guy song for me and my guy friend. Here we go for the campfire. Find an old campfire song. Yeah, let's do a country music song. Don't do enough of that. Let's do 16 Ton. Some folks will say man is made out of mud, but a poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood, sin and bone, a mind that's weak and a back that's strong. You load 16 ton, and what do you get? You get another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. I was born one morning when the sun didn't shine. I grabbed my shovel and I went to the mine. I load 16 ton, a number 9 coal. The straw boss hollered, well, damn your soul. You load 16 ton, and what do you get? You get another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. I was born one morning in the drizzling rain, fighting in trouble with my middle name. One fist of iron, the other of steel. If the right don't get you, then the left one will. You load 16 ton, and what do you get? You get another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. That's a great classic of depression. Probably from the Depression. But it's also about depression and the pointlessness of all things. Whoop, Mike's in the shot. There we go. All right. Let's head on back to the chat, shall we? A couple of further questions. Very nice. Thanks for asking. Mark says he claims to know Richard Branson. Is that right, Robert? Oh, well, we'll get to them. Whoa, look at this. We got all kinds of fun to be had. So he's funny. Been doing comedy a long time. Nice things about me. Thank you. How do I feel about the show so far? I'm depressed, so I don't feel like I'm at my best. Also, it's weird that it's only guys in here. But other than that, I'm enjoying the show. The songs always cheer me up, and talking always makes me feel better. Thanks for asking. He's funny. Thanks. Very, very professional. Very nice of you to say. Born in Philadelphia. Right on. I just watched Rocky last night, but lived in South Carolina for 20 years. It's the second finest of all Carolinas. Just returned to Philadelphia to live for a while. I'm a brand owner of Dopified. I just jumped into e-commerce and headed to the top. Well, congratulations on Dopified, which I am not familiar. Now, Robert says, are you in that place where an idea seems good, but you can't make yourself get up and make it happen? I think Hedberg mentioned that with his needing a pen and paper and deciding it wasn't funny enough. I do love Mitch Hedberg, and yeah, well, how'd that go? Sometimes I have a notebook lying around, and I'll write down my funny jokes, but sometimes I'll get high, and I can't reach the notebook, and I'll just have to convince myself that they weren't funny. I love Mitch Hedberg. What's your favorite Mitch Hedberg joke? I could read those all damn day and never get tired. Never get tired of it. Now, Robert said LOL because he loves Hedberg too. Good taste. Now, he claims to know Richard Branson. Is that right, Robert? Well, that's very cool. This is awesome, man. You have created a whole new vibe. This is unique. Very kind of you to say. This is unique. That's probably the kindest word you can find for it. Thanks for making the effort. Let's see. How's life going? Yeah, Johnny, got something that's promotable? Do I? It's good. Just building the momentum back to the store. Glad to hear it. Glad you're back in Philly where it's safe. Let's see. Mom is okay. I help her back and forth to the doctors for appointments. Very kind of you indeed. Tell me more about your store. Do you design all the products or are you a middleman? Now, that's a great question for Robert. Let's see what he said. Robert said, song. He's very entertaining. Thank you. So what happened to your store? And are you making bank? Boy, you're pushing hard, Mark. Robert said, I designed 80% of my apparel, but for others, I use suppliers. So Dopified is an apparel. It's a shirt. Like, for example, you would take a plain black t-shirt like this, and then you would probably bedazzle it until it's dopified. And then once it's dopified, you would sell it. I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too. Kale, hey, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for sticking your head in. I'm very excited. I was telling my buddies here, Kale set up another awesome workshop with Kevin McDonald. I'm going to go there next Saturday, and I'm extremely excited about seeing him again because he's one of my heroes from the Kids in the Hall and one of the funniest men who's ever lived. So I'm very, very excited to go see him. Thank you, Kale, for setting that up. Robert Adams is a friend of Mike's, and Kale is a comedian and producer here in town. He's a very, very funny man. He has, I think, 3 or 4 podcasts. He runs Now Are the Foxes and a whole bunch of shit I don't even know about because I'm not paying close enough attention. Thanks for sticking your head in, Kale. Glad to see you. I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to, too. Let's see. So how do you know Richard Branson, Robert? He seems like the kind of guy who doesn't hang out much. Yep. I'm sick of following my dreams, man. I'm just going to ask them where they're going and hook up with them later. Let's see if I can remember the donut. This time I went down to, doing it close up now, this is fine. One time I went down to a donut shop and I bought a donut and they gave me a receipt for the donut. I'm like, man, I don't need a receipt for the donut. You just give me I'll give you the money, you give me the donut. End of transaction. We do not need to bring ink and paper into this. I cannot imagine a scenario where I would have to prove I bought a donut by some skeptical friend. Don't even act like I didn't get that donut, man. I got the documentation right here. Oh, no, wait, it's back home in the file under D for donut. I love Mitch Hedberg. I do, Johnny, every year I try to do a tribute show for free, so I'm not making any money on it just because I enjoy it, where I do my Mitch Hedberg and my Rodney Dangerfield impressions, and I'm working on my Stephen Wright and my Norm Macdonald. I only do dead people. So Robert said, 1 sec. Okay. Robert can make any kind of shoe you ask him to make with any graphics. He can design some Johnny Millwater tennis shoes for you to wear. Very, very nice. Appreciate the hard sell. All right. Yeah, I don't wear anything flashy. I don't like to wear anything with my name on it except the desk, and that's not real. I feel a little awkward now. I'm going to go spin the wheel. Custom shoes. Wish I was cooler. Ooh, another song. Why not? Let's go back down to the theater. We'll sing a song. Let's do Things Are Looking Up. If I should suddenly start to sing or stand on my head or anything, don't think that I've lost my senses. It's just that my happiness finally commences. The long, long ages of dull despair are turning into thin air, and it seems that suddenly I've become the happiest guy alive. Things are looking up, and I've been looking the landscape over, and it's covered in 4-leaf clover. Oh, things are looking up since love looked up at me. Bitter was my cup, but no more will I be the mourner, for I've certainly turned the corner. Oh, things are looking up since love looked up at me. Whoo, sorry everybody. See the sunbeams, everyone beams, just because of you. Love's in session, and my depression is unmistakably through. Things are looking up. It's a great little world we live in. Oh, I'm as happy as a pup since love looked up at me. Cheerful. Stephen Wright's not dead. That's true, but he will be. And when he dies, I'll be ready. Stephen Wright's not dead. Stephen Wright tours. You are absolutely right, my friend. Let's see what it says. And custom shoes, maybe for the Queen City comedy experience, huh? They could use custom shoes. You know, Mark said he had another idea out of his dreams. Ever thought of a puppet show for kids? Take around and do it live to libraries around the Carolinas and broadcast them. As you work the crowd, I'd be down with participating. No, I don't have any puppets, and I don't like leaving the house. And puppet shows are weird for me. And children, I'm not comfortable around other people's children. I'm not really comfortable around my children. But other than that, that's cool. I like you. You're constantly thinking, Mark. I admire that. I don't know. I could probably do it. I love Mr. Rogers, and he was a puppeteer. No shame in it. Stephen has a book coming out. That's very cool. I saw something about Stephen Wright the other day. I think he won an Oscar for Best Short Film, and his speech was, I'm really glad we cut out that last 80 minutes, which I thought was really funny. Now, he met Bill Bonham in a marketing company. I'm not sure who that is. Marketing company I'm in. Then I got to talk to him about innovation 2 years later because I'm an inventor. Oh, really? That's awesome. I've never got to talk to an inventor. I've got lots of inventing questions. Bill Bonham was the founder of Virgin Records and sold the brand to Richard Branson. Perfect. Makes perfectly sense. Are there any depressed puppeteers? I defy you to find a puppeteer that is not depressed. Let us take a look at the good folks at John Malkovich, Being John Malkovich. That's the best puppeteer movie I can think of, and he was a very sad man. Robert Adams, they've been my best friend ever since. Wow, that's a wonderful thing. I'm glad to hear you got such great resources to draw from and wonderful, brilliant people to guide you. Now, Cale says Stephen has a book coming out. I would love to read that book. Now, I'm an inventor. He's partnering with Bill on a project. Him and Richard Branson called me on three-way a few times to hear me pitch an idea. How exciting. Did he leave? The sound is gone. Did who leave? Kim's here. Hi, Kim. Kim Millwater Harrison just drove. Who's frozen? What? What, me? I'm here. Huh? Sound's still here. Just woke up. Good morning. I love you. That's my sister, Kim Millwater Harrison, one of my favorite people in the whole world. I missed you. Am I frozen? What is happening? I can hear Johnny on my laptop. Yeah, all right. Well, I don't know what's going on over there. Everything looks right on my end. Everything's going through smoothly. Let's see. My Steam metrics say I'm at 2.4 megabits per second and 30 frames per second. So I'd say everything's fine. Yeah, I think it's just Robert. All right. How you doing, Kimmy? I missed you. Where are you this week? I always like to find out where in the world Kim Harrison is. She's still touring full-time as a comedian and is a favorite of the folks at Carnival Cruise Lines. Let's spin the wheel. One more monologue. All right, let's go to the theater. Kim's here, so we'll do an English one. Let's do No One Called Jones. This is by Rowan Atkinson. He is playing a schoolmaster, which I shouldn't have to tell you except through the performance. Come on now, settle down, please. Answer your names. Anus. Arse Bandit. Bottom. Clitoris. Where are you, clitoris? Dodo. Enema. Fist up. Come on now, grow up, please. Genital. Oh, I'm sorry. Genital. Herpes. Still with us, I see. I'm a dick. I'm a dick. Enema, you know I'm a dick, don't you? Jaculation. My prick. Has anyone seen my prick? Come on, somebody must have seen my prick. Very well, remind me a bit later. Nice and quick. On top. Pube. Oh, my prick. So nice of you to turn up. Yes, well, now that you are here, my prick, perhaps you'd like to find a bottom. Like to find a seat. Bottom, squeeze my prick in there somewhere, will you please? Rigid. Our Russian exchange student. Suck me off. Tight fit. Up yours. Vulva. Your prick. And zipper. Zipper? absent. Now, boys, the headmaster has asked me to speak to you this morning on the subject of smut. All members of staff have noticed an alarming increase of the use of silly humor and puerile innuendo about the school. Rigid, fist up, bottom, out! There have been some disgusting doodlings on the wall of the lavatory. Sit up straight on top. 1 or 2 unpleasant health magazines have been found. If you fall asleep on top, I shall be very annoyed. And Mr. Hardon tells me that there's been a great deal of sniggering in his biology class. Tight fit! For heaven's sake, leave your prick alone! I don't care. Your prick has no business poking into your desk in the first place. I will not put up with this kind of behavior, boys, and neither, must I warn you, will Mr. Grip Big Hotcock. This is a school for the sons of gentlemen, and the theory is that someday you will become a gentleman too. That with the exception of Genital, who appears to be turning into a ferret. So there will be an end to the second form toilet humor, where so much conversation is devoted to smutty double entendre. Don't suck me off nice and quick! Detention Saturday! Right, I'm going to the staff room now, and when I come back, if I catch herpes in the corridor, like the headmaster did yesterday, then there'll be trouble. There you go. Rowan Atkinson. Look him up. I gotta go, folks. Show's over. Thanks for tuning in, Mark. Very nice. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, it's Natalie. I gotta go, but Natalie's here, and that makes me very, very happy. She's one of my favorite human beings in the whole wide world, and I miss her a lot, and I'm glad she stuck her head in. I gotta go. I'm gonna have to read that lag answer next time, I'm afraid. But I don't do indoors. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. The important thing is I had fun today. Thanks for sticking your head in, those of you that did. I gotta go. I'm already running late. I'm gonna close out with a little song. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep shining through, just like you always do, and the blue clouds will push those dark clouds far away. Natalie, and if you'll please say hello to the folks that I know and tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Thanks for tuning in. I hope to see everybody next week at 11 right here on Facebook Live. I'll miss you. Remember, the only way to save ourselves is for everyone to love one another. So love yourself first, and then find somebody else to love. Then, if you can, love everybody. That's what I'm trying to do. And remember, be good, but not too good. Good morning.